Hey, everyone. Welcome back to today's bonus session. So I'm super excited to dive into today's session. If you are here with me live, please comment and let me know. I would love to know where you are watching from, any major takeaways. If you're joining us inside the sprint, because if you are, yay, we're so glad I have this one here. Hannah tried to tell me before I went live and I couldn't fix it, y'all. And this is all in reverse, so it's hard. It's hard up here in the hair. Okay, today I've got a bunch lined up for you. So we're actually going to dive into some specifics about how to find your people on social media. I know that that is a constant struggle for people building their businesses, specifically in the online world. So we're diving into that today. And then I've got some other people that will be joining me to share their story of success and just some tips, because they were in the same position you are in right now. And so they are here to share their experience, what they've learned, and all the things. So let's dive in. First, a couple of reminders. If you are not in contact with your concierge yet, please make sure that you reach out to them, connect with them. They can get you any replays. We had tons of content that we dove into Tuesday and Wednesday. So I want to make sure that you guys don't miss any of that, because we will take those down Sunday evening. So make sure that you are catching, everything that you can catch before them. The second thing that they will help you with is to understand whether or not our sprint is right for you. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, Kelly and I shared that we are actually launching something called our sprint. It is going to be 90 days of coaching with me and one of our top coaches here, where we are going to help you get laser focused on the money-making activities required to scale to 15 and 20K months. We know that there's nothing magic. I want to just kind of put this out there. There's nothing magic about that number. It's not that special. But what it does signify is some revenue confidence. And so revenue confidence is so critical, because without revenue confidence, you wake up at the beginning of every month worried about where your next sale is coming from. And we want you to learn how to grow your business in such a way where you don't have to do that, where you can continue to scale, where you can continue to grow, and you can feel confident going into each month, so that you can make decisions about where to invest, that you can make decisions to actually grow. And so 15 to 20K is where you start feeling that, because let's be honest, it sounds like a ton of money, but at the end of the day, when you're making 15K and you're paying taxes and you might be paying a contractor, it's not that much in your pocket. And we want you to be able to grow well beyond that. So we're here to help you get to that tipping point that most people never get to, because they aren't doing the right work. They're not taking enough consistent action. And so we want to help you get to that point so that you can scale beyond that. Once you build that foundation, it's really easy to scale. So let me know if you can go ahead and go to kellyroachcoaching.sprint. Thank you, team, for putting that up here. You can check it out there. All the details are there, but your concierge will also help you determine whether or not this is a good fit for you, because it may not be a good fit for you. There are certainly people where it might be too early. There are certainly people who maybe you're well beyond this and one of our other programs are going to be a good fit. This is a 90-day intensive where we are literally walking you through crafting your messaging, putting your offer together in a way that makes it completely irresistible, pricing and packaging. We're walking you through how to generate quality leads, how to create a content ecosystem that attracts the right client. We're walking you through how to have a successful sales conversation over and over and over again, how to manage a sales database. We will walk you through how to deliver on the back end so that your offer is exceptional and brings new people in. This is for people, we have had some questions. So this is for you if you do a one-on-one service. Hey, Shelby. If you do a one-on-one service, or if you have a group program, this is absolutely acceptable. It's going to really help you if you're running a group program. Somebody had asked, will we be talking about launching? If you are at a place where they are, where you're ready to launch, we will absolutely walk you through that. Not everybody coming in we won't recommend that everybody launches. It's just going to depend on your business, where you are, what your best strategy for growth is. This is a tailored approach. We are not putting you inside a little cookie cutter mold to be exactly like us. We're going to help you set specific goals for your business, your industry, where you are in your life. Some of you have young children. Some of you have aging parents. We want to help you determine your goals. And then we're going to help you execute on those goals so that you hit those goals. Because at the end of the day, it's all about hitting the goals that you actually set. So this is going to be tailored to meet your needs if you're somewhere along that line of maybe you've got one-on-one, maybe you've got some group coaching. We're going to help you do all of those things. So I am excited to chat today with my friend Marianne. Hello, how are you?
I am good. How are you doing?
Good. Well, I'm going to let you introduce yourself. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your business and what you do?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Marianne Lombardi. I'm the founder and CEO of Marianne Lombardi Coaching, and I work primarily with women and non-binary entrepreneurs, really helping them build wealth and independence by ditching the work-life balance myth, right? Because there is no actual work-life balance, so that they can build a profitable business that's in alignment with the life that they choose.
Love that. And so you obviously came to us wanting to grow your business. Tell us a little bit. I always kind of love to get like a before and after picture. What does that look like?
Yeah, so I've spent the past like 20, 25 years. I usually like to say 20 because 25 makes me feel a little too old, but it's all right.
You've been at it for a year. You're so
I know, but I've exactly
graduated.
Right. So I spent about the past 20, 25 years in executive service in a variety of ways, either with government or nonprofits or corporate or as an entrepreneur myself, really helping to build resources and infrastructure for creatives to thrive. And recently at the end of 2021, I ditched that full-time gig in order to jump into entrepreneurship full-time again, which was the best decision I could make. And at that time was looking for some folks to help me build out this online component of the work that I have been doing for 20 years, working with entrepreneurs and coaching them and all of that kind of stuff. So you guys were right on the top of my list.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your experience, because I know a lot of people. So I love that you shared this, because we actually have a lot of people here who they're still maybe in their 9-to-5, or they're kind of contemplating. They're not quite ready to quit yet. They're building on this side, coming from a world where you've attained a certain level of success. There's usually a salary that goes with that that's not teeny tiny. I shared that I had to replace my teacher salary. That was like small potatoes compared to what a lot of people come to the table with. How are we able to help you get your business to a point where it's healthy and sustaining your livelihood?
Yeah, well, I think that you guys do a wonderful job of really putting revenue first without it feeling sort of slimy, right? Like, because I think there can be a lot of this idea that the only thing that matters is revenue. And I don't get the impression that isn't the nature of the work y'all do, but you are very clear about there are choices that you can make early on to make sure that you are putting your revenue needs first,
Yeah. And I think that's so important for new businesses. We talked a lot in this workshop about all the things that keep people productively busy. They're doing things, but they're really not doing anything. And then they're, stressed because they don't have the sales. They don't have the revenue. Where have you been able to gain focus and actually take action?
Yeah, so I have a tendency to be biased towards action in general. And so for me, I have a pretty deep network personally around one-on-one coaching. And so I've spent most of my time in the program so far building up the infrastructure around how this online space is going to work, while definitely trying to make sure that I beef up my one-on-one coaching. And what I think is great about the way you guys work is that it's all about a layering, right? It isn't about just doing one thing and zero focus and just do that. It is about thinking about what are the layers that end up making what your revenue opportunity is work.
Yeah, I think that's so important, because what we're really inundated with is this is the one strategy you need. This is the one funnel. This is the one social media platform. This is the one way you're going to build and grow. And we know better. We understand that every company in the world has multiple product lines. Every company in the world starts with something they layer on new. You don't sustain growth in business without doing that. So I love that you shared that we're, teaching a layered approach, because people coming in, we get a lot of people at the beginning who are like, I want to launch, and they have nothing. They have no infrastructure. They have nothing. And we're like, well, we need to go over here. We need to do some one-on-one work and build this up so you can. And so it's so important to understand that we're going to help you focus where you need to focus. What are some ways in which you've experienced the support you need to grow within our community? Because I know that's another issue that people have. A lot of people say, we're there for you, and then they stick you in an automated funnel and there's no one to talk to. What have you experienced inside our programs?
Yeah, I think that is the biggest key, is that everybody and their mom has a program that can teach you how to become an entrepreneur. But the work is in the action that you take and the support that you're provided. And some people can go out and find that support on their own, and that's fantastic. But most of us really need a team of people around us to not only help us feel motivated, but also help us feel safe and supported, right? Because that's a huge piece of this process. Is the knowledge is one thing, but the implementation of that knowledge and then the support to help you do all of that is really what you guys put together in this package. And I think that accountability and that support, that community support thing, is often the biggest thing that is missing out there in everybody else's, product to teach you how to get, 100K months in, 20 and a half minutes.
Yes, I love that. Y'all, just a word of the wise. If it sounds too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. So I love that. We have people here, obviously they're on the fence. They're thinking, should I do this? Should I invest in this? 10K for 3 months. It's one weekly call a week, and it is a one-on-one call every month. It's with me and Kyrie. So we're going to be leading everyone through this. And instead of the whole big member site and all that stuff, they're going to get content dripped to them to focus solely on the thing that they need to focus on. What advice would you have for someone who's sitting on the fence? They're not yet ready to take the leap. What would you share with them?
Yeah, well, I would share that if you can do it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I do think there is a reality where maybe some people just don't literally have the funds. But I think often people use the excuse of not having the funds in order to keep them from taking an action and really investing in themselves. So it is possible that you probably do have the funds to invest in yourself. And the best thing that you can be doing is investing in what you want and what you need to build a life that is something that really inspires you. And this is a wonderful way to do that.
Yeah. And I think that's so important. And again, this is why it's so important to talk to your concierge. If you're not sure, we will be honest with you. If you tell us, listen, I got to make this money back tomorrow. I got 0 audience, 0 people. If I don't make this money back, I'm going to lose my house. We're going to say now's not the time. We want you to get some confidence and that you can pay your bills, that you can eat, that you can feed your kids. But if you're sitting there and it's just a fear, and it's like that fear in your gut that's like, oh, I don't know. One thing I want to encourage you, and this is how I made decisions early on. And I came from teaching, which is a very safe thing, right? People become teachers. They stay there for 30 years. If you want to move up, you can be an administrator, but a lot of people don't want those roles. And so it's a very safe, risk-averse career path. And investing at first felt very scary to me. And I had to get to a point where it was like, you know what? This program sounds great, but I trust myself to get the value that I need out of it to make it worth it. And so when you're at that point, what advice would you give it? Do you have anything similar? What would you say?
Yeah, I would just remind folks that the cost of inaction is higher than the cost of action, right? And often we think that it's the action that is the risk, but the reality is the inaction is the risk. Because if you are sitting at a juncture where you are very unhappy with either your business or your life and you don't take action, you are losing revenue potential. You are losing passion opportunities, leadership development. You are losing, the time and attention on your family and your priorities and your passion, right? All of that stuff is lost by your inaction, right? So I always want to remind people that the cost of inaction is much higher than the cost of action.
I love that. Well, thank you so much. I want to respect your time because you are running a business and you do have stuff to do. So any parting words before you head out?
Take the leap and invest in yourself, because you are your most important business asset. So just try it and get it done.
I love that. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your, afternoon. Is it early morning for you? Where are you?
Oh, it's noon-ish.
Okay. All right. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And guys, I do want to just encourage you again, as an entrepreneur, one of the greatest things one of the greatest muscles you need to build is the courage muscle. And I know that sounds so cheesy and you're like, oh my gosh, this sounds fluffy. I promise you it's not. The more you learn to take a small leaps at a time. I'm not telling you to invest $200,000 here. I'm saying the more that you learn to take small leaps and show up for yourself and do the work for yourself, the easier it becomes to make those decisions moving forward. Now, we are going to help you the entire way. We're going to support you. We're going to give you the strategy. We're going to give you what you need. We're going to fill your toolbox. We're going to bring you to the work site, and we're going to put a hammer in your hand. Whether or not you build is going to be up to you, but we are going to get you there. So you've got to decide, do you believe in your goal enough? Remember, I had you, I don't even remember what session it was, y'all. I'm sorry. They all blend together in my mind, but I had you write down, where do you want your revenue to be? When you look at that number, okay, do you believe in that enough to do what it takes to get there? Okay, number one. Number two, do you think that you are capable of that? And number three, do you feel like you have the strategic support, guidance, and accountability that you need to get there? Now, if you answered yes to all three, then it sounds like you're good. You don't need any support. If you said, yes, I believe in my goal. Yes, I believe that I can get there, but no, I don't have the support that I need, then this is the perfect opportunity for you to invest in that support. And for many of you, it will take 3 clients to recover this investment. So at the end of the day, this is not a huge risk. This isn't the type of risk that you're going to, just totally fall on your face and, oh my gosh, what happens? This is, a risk that you can take with some confidence in your ability to deliver on the back end. You can look at our sales page that's got all of the information. There are hundreds of testimonials on there. We have people who have gone from 0 to 6 figures in 6 months. We've helped people. We had one client in 7 months go from low 6 figures to 7 figures in 7 months. 7 months to go from, I don't know, like 200,000-ish to over $1 million. So we have the goods to give you. We will get you the tools you need. You've got to decide if you believe in yourself and your vision, and if you are willing to show up and do the work and listen to the strategic guidance that we give. So I don't want to, have any sort of confusion around we're doing work. This is not a magic pill. Benita is going to attest to that in just a few minutes. We expect you to show up to the calls. We expect you to do the work that we are, assigning each week. It's for your business. There is 0 busy work in this sprint. We only have 90 days with you. So we are cutting everything out and saying, this is all we want you to focus on. You've got to show up and do that. It's not a magic pill, but if you do the work, you will see progress. So hello, my friend. How are you?
Great. Hello. Thanks for having me, Danielle.
Absolutely. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your business?
Whoa. Okay. So I am Benita Königbauer. I'm situated in Munich, Germany. And I came across Kelly Roach coaching through a recommendation from a friend. And I joined one of the workshops and I was absolutely intrigued because I felt like the support was so great even in this workshop, and I actually got results, and I felt like, okay, this is the thing. I was scared. It was a big leap. It was scary, but it was the best thing to do. And so I had a business that paid the bills before but I had a dream to create a second one with my personal brand. And that was only a dream before. And then I joined and I was like, should I do that? Should I start this? And now I'm 6 months in. I built it from scratch, and it works.
Yeah, well, let's dive into that, because I do want to touch on a couple things. You weren't new to business, like you understood business, but you were building something brand new. So when you came to us, you did have a business, some business in your background, but what you came to us to build, you had not started building yet. Is this correct?
Yes. I did hourly coaching once in a while, but with a different audience, and the audience I wanted to care for. I didn't dare to do this. I just didn't dare to do this, and I got the courage because kind of you lent me that trust that I can actually build this, and I took your trust and started to build this, and now I can trust myself to scale it.
Love that. So give us a little bit of a before and after. Where were you? So you were at 0 before. Again, you had a business, but not this one. What does the after picture look like? Where is your business currently? And then I'm going to ask you some questions about how you got there.
So in numbers?
Yeah, numbers, lifestyle, anything you've kind of overcome to get there. Numbers are great, but I always love to tell a little more of the story because sometimes, some of the greatest wins that we have in our business, they're numbers on paper, but sometimes it's something that's totally different than that. So share whatever you feel like your biggest wins are.
Actually, yes, because the other business was at a place where it paid the bills. Mm-hmm. It paid the bills for itself. It paid the bills for me, but it was in a place that didn't allow me to trade up my time. It didn't allow me to hire. Yes, I could have hired, but I would have run into debt, and that's not an option for me. So I felt like, okay, I don't feel safe to take the next step. Mm-hmm. And that exactly, with me being the bottleneck of this business, I was at a level that I couldn't grow anymore because me being the bottleneck, and I didn't have the funds to grow it with hiring people, at least not in a safe way. So I was stuck in that place. And so building that second business did two things for me. One thing was, the other business I'm doing, I'm like a representative for someone else. It's not my business. It's my baby, but it's not actually my brand. And I wanted to create something that is originally me. And so this feels very good that it's just me, that I was able to create that. And it provides the funds now that I'm able to start trading up my time. I was able to hire someone for the tech stuff. I just have hired a VA for all the social media stuff. Wow. So I only have to, with your help, and a lot of your coaching, I developed the process. So I only have to deliver the content, and she's doing all the other stuff. And that feels so good because actually now I'm creating content, which I didn't before because I was in bottleneck and all that stuff. So all those open ends close to loops, and it just feels like everything is falling in place right now. And I just started. I'm just at the beginning of what comes next. And this is, makes me happy.
I love that. And I think that's so important. Again, we talk about numbers all the time, and who doesn't want to make more money? Everyone is starting a business to make more money. So I feel like that's a given. But sometimes it's the things that are less tangible that mean the most to us. Being able to hire a team, being able to focus on something that is your own, not just a company, something that's a personal, vision and mission for you. Like all of those things are so meaningful. Now, we do have some people watching who maybe they are afraid to make this investment. They want to make sure that it's, really a solid investment to make, that they're going to get the support they need. So just so you know, Benita, myself and Kyrie are going to be leading these cohorts. They're small groups of people, 25 or under. It's only 90 days. We're not giving a whole membership site. It's going to be dripped content to focus only on what they need. Tell me kind of what advice would you give people that are like, I don't know, maybe not, on the fence?
So I don't know why, but this makes me think of Yoda.
Okay, I'll take it.
Kind of Yoda, there is no maybe. Either you do it or you don't.
I love
And if you feel like you're in a place,
Yoda was wise.
yes, he was, and he's cute. So it's really it's not a decision about the money.
Mm-hmm. And money is your thing. Hang on.
Yes.
Can you share a little bit? So you're someone who, and you're in an industry that's conservative with money. Give us a little background on that.
Yes, and that actually was the first thing I was struggling with.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like, okay, this is a whole lot of money, and I invested whole lots of money before and things that didn't get me off the ground. Not that I didn't learn anything. I learned from everyone, and I learned a lot, but I didn't get the traction on the road. It just didn't translate into results.
Yeah.
It was all in my head and all the knowledge. But I felt like I need someone to, that saying that even if you pull the grass, it wouldn't grow faster.
Mm-hmm.
And that's totally true. But if you have a community that pushes you, the grass actually is growing faster. And this is not a decision about money you have. I'm super conservative. I feel like if I don't have the money now, I don't even plan on investing it. And that is the difference between staying stuck and getting ahead. Mm-hmm. And it took me 6 months in UE to actually grasp this. But this is, if you get that traction on the road, and you feel that trust in yourself, and you know you can create it until you have to pay for it, then you can work all that magic. Then you can leverage it. As long as you feel that money is keeping you stuck in a place where you can't make more money, this is not a perspective from which you get ahead with your dreams. So you have to take a leap of faith once. And of course, I took a leap of faith and I couldn't sleep for nights on end when I did that investment. And yes, of course, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to make that back. I have to make that bet. I didn't take, it was my money. Yes, of course, I had it somewhere, but it was about everything that I had and in that moment. And of course, I felt like that pressure. I have to make that work. And this pressure actually, at first, it helps you to run. But then there's a point where you feel like, and now I have to ease into that. I have to follow the process. I have to trust the process. And this is actually the magic that happens inside of your programs, is that you, step by step, you learn to trust the process. And then it works. And so everyone that feels like now they're not quite sure if they get something different as they got before when they invested in whatever they invested before, like I did, it is different. It is completely different. I wouldn't have imagined that there can be so authentic and loving and appreciative support, having your back, and actually lending me your trust in me being able to make it happen. And that in itself would have been worth the whole investment.
Yeah. I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for doing the work. I always, preface these testimonials with saying, we gave you tools, you showed up and did it. We didn't go to your house. We didn't make you do the things. You are so faithful. You show up to coaching calls. You ask your questions. You get the tools you need, and then you go execute. So thank you for doing that for us. And thank you for spending a little bit of time with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys. So I do have some things I'm going to talk to you about in terms of social media, marketing your business online. So stick around for that. If you have not already, there are 2 things that you can do if you want to join our sprint. Number 1, if you're like, I'm in, I don't need any questions answered, I am good to go. Just go ahead and click the link. If you can see that, it's kellyroachcoaching.com/sprint. kellyroachcoaching.com/sprint. If you're not sure, you want to talk to someone, you have questions, reach out to your concierge. Every single one of you who's watching this workshop has someone who has emailed you or who has maybe Facebook messaged you. Maybe they've even texted you to chat. They are available to answer questions. Again, if it's not the right time, we will tell you that. If it's not, if you work in an industry where we don't feel confident that we can help you, we will tell you that. If we need to lend you some confidence, just like Benita just said, if that's what you need, we will do that. We'll give you a gentle kick in the pants to get on in here. We will do that for you. So there's no risk in hopping on a call with someone on our team. You basically get to just ask all your questions and chat, and that's all you have to do. If you decide to join us, great. If you don't, then no worries. Okay. So I'm going to dive into just a few things that are incredibly important when you look at building your business online. And obviously, these are things that I am going to dive deep into in our sprint because they are what makes or break your lead flow as you're building your content ecosystem. So the first thing is ensuring that you have optimized platforms. So it's important that everyone understands that we live in a world now. We live in a world now where you are competing for attention, and you're not just competing for attention with competitors. In fact, competitors are the least of your problems when it comes to marketing online. Your real problem marketing online is everything else. Every cute dog, every celebrity breakup, all the big court cases, every news event that's happening in the world. That's your competition. Your competitor, that ain't no thing. You've got to learn how to capture attention of the right people immediately. How does that start? Number 1, it starts with optimized profiles that allow people to understand who you are and what you do within 3 seconds. You have got to learn to effectively communicate who you are, what you do, and what you're about in 3 seconds, because after that, you've lost attention. So if you don't do that right away off the bat, if I have to go to your profile and think and burn calories trying to understand what you do, I'm out. I'm not even paying attention to anything else you have to say. And so many people come up with these clever titles, these things that they do, and it sounds so great and cool. And at the end of the day, people don't understand and they leave because they're like, well, what does that even mean? I don't know if I need this. So that's number 1, optimize profiles. Number 2, you've got to become masterful at hooking attention immediately. So this is something we teach inside all of our programs. It's something we'll spend a good amount of time on when we go through content creation. You've got to learn how to write great hooks, great subject lines in emails, great first lines in your social media content, great, line openers in your videos. You've got to understand exactly how to hook someone in immediately. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, you've got to have a good cadence of content that shows you know what you're talking about, but also inspires and connects on a deeper level with your people. So we teach something called the conviction marketing method. Kelly wrote a book called Conviction Marketing that you can grab on Amazon. Just type in Kelly Roach, Conviction Marketing. You can go order a book there. But basically, we teach 3 levels of content that really build a full ecosystem. Okay. So these 3 levels of content are going to be different things that you create on a weekly basis that establish you as an authority, because you cannot sell if you don't have trust. So we establish you as an authority. We teach, get quick wins. People understand, you know what you're talking about. We inspire people so that there's a deeper heart connection. And then we teach you how to lean into your convictions and your beliefs so that there is an actual kind of soul connection. Like, this is my person. These are my people. Like, these people get it. They believe what I believe. When you can master that ecosystem, you will be able to attract dream clients, especially once you've got your optimized profiles, you're doing all the market research we talked about before. When that happens, you build this perfect storm in the best way for people to pay attention to what you're doing and want to start conversations. So that's number, I don't know what number I'm on, number 2. The third thing is that we are going to help you understand a cadence and flow that works for your business. Because at the end of the day, everyone's teaching you all these algorithm hacks. Here's the deal. You got to know your people. You've got to know when they consume content. I was just coaching clients yesterday, and 3 people want to know when's the best time. And I was like, there is no best time. The best time is what your analytics tell you. And so we teach you how to understand analytics so that you're getting the most bang for your buck. And when I mean buck, you don't have to pay for social media, you don't have to pay for content, but you are spending time on that. And if you're spending time on something, we want it to be meaningful. We want it to be impactful. So we're going to help you figure out how to get the most bang for your buck in terms of the time spent creating content in your ecosystem. Now, there are layers and layers and layers to that. So what I want you to know that if you join us inside the sprint, one of the first things we're going to do, not the first week, but when we start diving into content, is we're going to go through your profiles and we're going to optimize everything. You're going to get our eyes on your stuff. We're going to help you make the shifts and the changes that you need. And ask any client who's worked with us in the past. They know that we can do this in 2 minutes, that it can get done so quickly, and it is so massively impactful. So you're going to learn, we're going to do that with you. And then we're also going to help you build out the content strategy and flow that makes sense for you, your industry, your business, where you're going to show up, and your lifestyle, right? Because again, if you're in that full-time job, we understand that you've got to squeeze this content creation into a much smaller block than if you're someone who is a full-time entrepreneur. So we're going to help you build your content ecosystem in a way that makes sense for you. And that's so, so critical, because no one online is talking about that. They're teaching you, literally major influencers teaching business are teaching you how to do transitions on Instagram Reels. Guess what? In 3 months, those will change. You have to stay up to date with all of that all the time. That's how people lose their minds building a business. We're going to help you cut out all the noise, focus on speaking directly to your people, creating content that your people want, and then moving forward to get them into sales conversations. That's the goal. Marianne said it. We're helping you focus on building revenue. We don't care how many likes you get. We don't care how many views you get. All these people get millions of views selling something that they need to, that's $40 that they need to deliver 20 hours of their life for. We don't want that life for you. We want you to build a business that's sustainable. I want you to build a business that is truly, truly dialed in. We want you to build a business that supports the lifestyle you want to live. We want you to build a business, and we want you to build your brand in a way that you feel proud of. I see this so often. People get so they're like, I don't want to do those things online. I don't care. It feels awkward. Sometimes you can tell it in the videos that they're doing that it's just sort of cringy, because you're like, oh, it's not them. It's not in alignment with their brand. We want to teach you to market your business in a way that is in alignment with who you are, who you want to be, who 20 years from now you want to look back on and be like, oh yeah, that's what I'm about. We want to help you build that, and you can. Here's the thing. Nobody's telling you that. You can build a brand that way. You can book clients that way. And so much of our first 6 weeks together are going to be spent on teaching you how to do that, so you feel confident, so you feel really dialed in, and so that you actually connect with people you want to connect with. So if you haven't already, now is the time. Remember, there are only 35 spots in our in-person event. This in-person event will literally transform your business and build relationships that you will keep for a lifetime. The business relationships that you build in person, when you're actually workshopping, networking, eating lunch together, are so powerful. These are the people who are going to shout you out in the Facebook groups. These are the people who are going to do joint collaborative summits with you. They're going to write books with you. They're going to invite you on their podcast. These are the people that are going to celebrate with you when you have wins. These are the people that are going to be like, hey, come on, it's okay. You can do it. Let's keep going when you have bad days, because there are bad days. Those relationships are things you will carry for a lifetime. The skills we teach in this 90-day sprint, you will use for a lifetime. These are things that aren't going to change. I am not going to teach you how to transition in a reel, because that will change, and it's so silly for someone working a corporate job to spend their time learning that. What I will teach you is how to understand what your market wants. What I will teach you is how to speak directly to that. What I will teach you is how to get rid of the fancy words and get super clear so you get attention from the right people. Those things won't change. Platforms are going to change. Tactics are going to change. Algorithms change. They already changed since this workshop started. Those things are not worth you spending time and money investing in. What is worth it is understanding how to run a business with the baseline skills that can be applied across platforms, no matter what new thing pops up. When you understand people, when you understand how they buy, when you understand their problems, when you understand how to effectively communicate what you offer, you will always be able to make money. So at the end of the day, you can sit here and you can Google yourself into trying to make more money, piecing together these little tactical things, or you can join us inside the sprint where we will walk you through A to Z, everything you need to master and implement so that you can actually hit that goal. So here's the deal. You don't have to waste all of your mental energy figuring out how to do it. You just have to show up and do it. And also, what's really cool, kind of a byproduct of it, we're going to teach you why. I'm a big fan in entrepreneurs being able to make critical decisions for their business. So we're not just going to say, go do this thing. We're going to say, here's why. Here's the reason we know this is super valuable. Here's what this looks like in different businesses. We want you to understand the skill, because a skill is something you will use for life. A tactic is going to change. We want you to build marketing skills. We want you to build sales skills. We want you to build service delivery skills, customer-centric programs. We want you to learn how to do those things so that no matter what changes, you have those skills in your toolbox. So if you haven't already, kellyroachcoaching.com/sprint, kellyroachcoaching.com/sprint. You will get a 2-day in-person event. We just have a few spots left for that. So make sure that you are joining us inside the sprint to be able to do that 2-day event. We have two more sessions. We've got one tonight at 7 with Kelly, and then we've got one more tomorrow. These videos are coming down on Sunday. Okay, so you've got till Sunday night to watch the videos, and then you've got till Sunday night to join us, because we're actually starting on Monday. We're literally kicking things off Monday. First email goes out to everyone this Monday. We are going to help you get onboarded. You'll get an email as soon as you join us with some information. Monday morning, you will get an email with that week's focus, the links to the calls, all of those things. So I want to see you on a call with me next Wednesday. I cannot wait to work this first group through all of the stuff we've got planned so that we can see you hit those goals, that number you wrote down in this workbook in 90 days. It's going to be unbelievable. Feel free to hop on a call with your concierge if you still have questions. We'll be back here tonight at 7 p.m. I'll see you later.